Ready? Sweet. All right. Hello, I'm Jacob Chopsel, and this is my journey through ACE. So here's the table of contents. We're going to start with my time at ACE, the reflective essay, then my service learning project and portfolio, my TPS language portfolio, and my closing remarks. So first off, I know a lot of you in like an academic sense, faces and names, but nothing very personal, so I thought it'd be nice to start up with that. I love gaming. I'm doing this stuff 3. I recently came out on the 28th of February. And kind of the funny thing is I hate drinking water while eating a meal because I think it just ruins the texture and everything about it. So some of it got me. And then here's my time at ACE. Starting with my past. These are the only pictures I can find of myself in school. One from freshman year, a very poorly edited one of sophomore year that got messed up. I went to public school all the way up to middle school, and then I was homeschooled through 6th through 8th grade. And then in that year, it's where my parents decided that they thought ACE would be an awesome fit for me because I've always been someone who does much better with hands-on projects, group work. And then honestly, when I was here, it was a huge change from other schools I've toured, like Cam High or like Newberry that I've been to. So I was honestly kind of thinking like, what the heck am I gonna do for the next 4 years? And then for the present, honestly, ACE has been my favorite school that I've ever been to. And it's been the best school I've heard from a lot of my classmates also. Teachers, staff, students, all so supportive. And then being here, I've also been able to find so many things about myself and things that I'm passionate about. One of those things that I've been able to find is definitely the hands-on aspect of things and working with others in group scenarios or especially being in front of people. I've always actually really loved getting up and being in front of people. And then for the future, I have plans to serve a mission for my church starting in August, and then after that, I'm planning on heading out to BYU to study psychology, and then once I am done with that, I would love to start my own, I would like to be a therapist, a mental health therapist, and start my own practice. Then for my reflective essay, my topic was the impact of hostile or defensive architecture. So the plain definition of hostile architecture is a style implemented to keep unwanted behaviors out of public spaces, such as loitering, sleeping, public urination, smoking, that kind of stuff. And some examples of that being, but not limited to, slanted benches, divided benches, blocked vents, tree spikes. Oops. And then, so my question was, is the practice of hostile architecture ethical? And through the research, while the practice of the South fulfills its purpose, it creates more of a problem in solving them, and then I have examples for that in the next slide. So these are the examples. It has proven to be a rather invasive and usually unattractive form of style, and you'll see the one in the very middle, jagged rocks in Ghana. Those are made to prevent people from sleeping there, and I know you can't see it very well, but in the right center of that picture, there is someone sleeping over the rocks with a pad they've made of bags and stuff. So while hostile architecture is unattractive, invasive, and disrupts the people around, it is often ineffective in its practice. And then I have my service learning project. So this was the senior mentorship program. And then for the profile, there was a lot of personal development, which came very harshly at times, and accountability. Probably one of the biggest things I learned and got from this was the way to hold me accountable. When I had my last interview with Mr. Mcguire, that was one of the biggest things, is that when I came away from this, it left me with better talents of communicating with people who were higher stations than me, like teachers and staff, which has always kind of scared me, especially when I wasn't super close to them or didn't know them very well. And I was able to be more accountable of myself and admit when I was wrong or when I needed to fix something. And then for the experience, it was a stressful experience, honestly. I'm proud of what I was able to get done. We were able to have 2 meetings, which wasn't how many I wanted, I really wish I would have had more, and honestly that is on my part. I should have had more communication with my team, and I should have been more communicative with the teachers and staff around me to receive the help that I needed. But on the other hand, I know that when we had those 2 meetings, that the people in the meetings had a lot of fun, and that was a cool experience, and I'm thankful for that experience because it was the experience for me to develop and especially grow in those aspects of accountability and communication. And then for the evidence, I have emails from Middleton, and then I have emails between me and my classmates, and I have screenshots of documents, and then I have a link that would go through to one of the Google Docs for our planning. Would you guys want me to go to that link? No? So one of the big things we wanted to do for the senior mentorship was games. So one of the times for the mentorship, Middleton had taken over. And so here are a bunch of games, lists, and it was honestly a good amount of fun putting this together with my team because we were able to mess around. And then we had a list of each month and what the traits would be for that month, and then what the speaker's supposed to be. And I'm kind of disappointed that some of those months I didn't get to it from my fault, and then stuff that came up in my and my team's life. But I'm still super happy that we were able to get this amount of stuff done. And then for my language development. So I chose French, and honestly, the main reason I chose French junior year is because I think French architecture is just beautiful. It's always been some of my favorite pieces, and especially from being in Nika's class from my freshman year, some of the pieces we looked at a lot were by French designers. And while I might not have plans to go into the field of architecture later in life for my career, I believe that learning more of this language and practicing it has helped me gain a better respect for people of other nationalities and a better respect for those cultures also. And I believe that that's something, especially in me wanting to open an own practice for being a mental health therapist, that's going to be really helpful, being able to have that better understanding and respect for other people. And then here are 2 of my favorite French pieces, the Notre Dame, I'm gonna botch the last part, Notre Dame du Lac, and 2 of these pieces were actually from Nika's class, and that's another reason why I love them so much. But I love the first image because it's just such an amazing contrast to me between big and small. There's like a big, strong force on top, and then kind of almost a weaker looking on the bottom. And then same with the second image, there is this strong looking force on top held up by these small beams, and it looks like it shouldn't be able to be held, but I think that's one of the beautiful things about it. And that one is the Villa Savoie, and those are my 2 favorite architectural pieces. And then I would like to come to my thank yous. Honestly, I had a hard time putting this one together because if I tried to put it in the slides, there would be too many. I definitely wanted to start with people outside of school. My parents, my dad, who's here right now, has always been such a great support and has never failed to be there for me when I needed him the most. And my mom, who's not able to be here, but my dad is recording for her, has always kept me on task and kept me going to school no matter what, and definitely with Apex that happened recently. She always made sure I was doing it, getting it done. And to the school people, I would like to first thank Mr. Renteria because through English, I had a hard time through some of the years, and she never failed to be one of the most supportive people I ever knew. To Mr. Vasquez, who I only had a freshman year and this year, never failed to put a smile on anyone's face with his dad jokes. With Ms. Morales, you've always been very forgiving, especially when work is very late. And I know that for a fact, and I'm very thankful for that. Definitely for Mr. Middleton, he, I'm sure, keeps this place afloat. And I had a lot of contact with him through my project, and even when I wasn't on top of it, like I said earlier, he was supportive no matter what and kept helping me. And definitely Mr. Mcguire. Mr. Mcguire has always been someone that I've always been able to look up to in class. He's always been funny while also being able to be serious and know how to talk to the students. And can't forget Miss Nika. Miss Nika is probably one of the most kind-hearted people I know. And since freshman year, I was disappointed sophomore year when I didn't get your class, because you've always just been such a support to me academically and emotionally. I would also like to thank some of my amazing friends. See Jack right there. Jack has always been, I call him my little big brother because he is much taller than me now, but he is still younger than me. And then also Zach, who is in a beautiful cowboy outfit, denim. He has always never failed to brighten someone's day and uplift them. And I don't see Clausy here, I haven't seen him today, but right here?
Yeah. He apologizes for not being there. That's not what his business does. Tends to be important, so he loves you.
Definitely Clausy also. Clausy has always been the type of person you see just walk through the hallways with a giant smile on his face. He would never fail to brighten up any story or day, and it was especially funny when someone had the fake rattlesnake eggs and turned to shell and they freaked out. Yeah, and this is honestly, these past 4 years have been filled with probably every emotion I can express. A lot of stress and a lot of happiness too. There's a debt to the school that I don't think I'll ever be able to repay, and to the teachers here, I'll really forever be supportive. If there's one thing that I'm really gonna miss about high school, it's gonna be you guys. You guys have never failed to really be there when I don't feel like I had anyone else at school, or especially academically and emotionally, which meant the world to me. And so, thank you.
Jacob, let's do business first, okay?
Sounds great.
Have you finished your econ Apex
Yeah, I finished my Econ and Gov.
and your American government? When did you finish your American government?
I finished Gov a few days ago.
And have you contacted Mr. Clausy and Miss Ochoa and Mrs. Knight about that?
I have not, but I will send the email once I'm done.
Okay, because I just looked at your transcript and that's missing until you do so.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I'll contact them.
So you're finished. It's kind of like PE logs, right? You've done the work, but now you actually have to like turn in the work. Okay? Let's talk about your service learning project, Jacob.
Okay.
So you learned a lot about like time management, and I think a large theme of that section of your presentation was like looking back. And that's fine, but that's not what I want to hear. What I want to hear is you looking forward, because the essence of your service learning project is mentorship, right? Who inspired you to do this project?
Alexis, Mackenzie, and Bella.
Right. What job do you have now over the next couple of weeks?
So find someone to cover that.
And that's the most important part of this. You did have the opportunity to do 2 awesome experiences this year. Had you gotten to do 10 so-so ones versus 2 awesome ones, none of it matters if you don't continue it forward, okay? Because I think what you learned while at ACE is Mr. Middleton doesn't keep the schools going. Everybody keeps the school, right? If I leave tomorrow, it'll still be here, just like you're leaving in 2 weeks. It will still be here because of the work that you do and everybody else here. So find me a group of people, and I think that's one of the things that you learned this year. And a message that I gave you pretty consistently at the start of the year, because it's also something that Alexis and Mackenzie really struggled with last year to understand. You can't put a project like that on the shoulders of 1 or 2 students. It will consume you like nobody's business your senior year, because you've got all of these other things that you want to do, whether it be working or taking college classes or APEX or just being a senior, right? So find a group of seniors out of the junior class that can run it with the same drive and passion that you have in everything you do. And then it'll be fine, okay?
Okay.
I'm not judging Jacob by the amount of experiences that he did. I'm judging Jacob by how he continues it forward, okay? You were the keeper of something really special that you did. So continue it, okay?
Okay.
And that's the essence of a mentorship, okay? It's not the games that you play. It's what you teach the people playing the games that matters. So find me a good group, okay?
Okay.
That want it as much as you wanted it, and then it'll be fine, okay?
Sounds great.
All that you've got to do, okay? Are you going to BYU Idaho?
Yes.
Okay. When do you start?
I'm deferring for after my mission, so in a few years.
Where are you going on your mission?
I don't have my call yet. I get my wisdom teeth out on Monday, and that was like the last thing I had to do before I can submit my papers.
You have to have your wisdom teeth taken out.
You don't have to, but it's one of those things that can pop up during your mission, so they want it checked out, and they decided that it would be a problem on theirs.
Okay.
So I get them out, and then I leave in August. And haven't put in my call yet, but I have the date saved for like August 5th.
Do you get to influence that decision at all?
Yeah, I get to choose whether I go stateside or not, and that's it, because, yeah, like,
What have you asked for?
I really want to go out, because I asked, they were like, how willing are you to learn a new language? And I was like, 100% willing, that'd be awesome. And then, how willing are you to serve outside of the United States? And I was like, 100%, that'd be awesome again. But, yeah, that would be awesome to go out.
Why don't you go with your friends?
That would be fun. I've heard French people are kind of mean though.
I've been with friends. They're wonderful people.
Okay.
They're no more angry than Americans. They're no more nice than Americans. They're people. Okay? And if you speak the language to them, they like it a lot.
Okay.
Right? Just like if someone speaks English to me, right? It's like communicate.
Yeah.
Try to get to France, okay? So you can see those buildings in person that you had in your presentation, okay? You've done good work, Jacob. You've grown a lot. It's all about constantly reflecting and pushing forward, not looking back, okay?
Okay.
Always push forward, because you're gonna hit speed bumps in life. And you're defined by how you move forward, okay? Good work, Jacob.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, I feel like you've had 4 years of training for what you're going to go do. I mean, aside from your mission, I'm excited for you for that, just because I know that's something that, you know, I think in your heart, over the past 4 years has really grown onto you that it's gonna be something special versus what it looks like when you're in the 9th grade, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it's gonna be that exciting, and especially if you hear some other people's stories. But Jacob, you have a unique ability to find your place amongst your friends where they lean on you quite a bit sometimes emotionally, and I think that's pushing you towards this career pathway for you. Just remember that coming from someone else who gives these things regularly as well is this idea of self-care, right? Focus on you sometimes, and just make sure, because when you are at your best and when you've got everything dialed in, you are by and far one of the best people for people struggling with just whatever to come and talk to. You've taken many walks with students before on campus and you've talked to them. You're sort of, again, it's like this practice that you've been really doing here at our school. It's a benefit of our school being so small. You've actually been able to get to know some people around here that I know in your mind that if you've been at Cam High, you probably wouldn't be friends with some of these students. And so there's a unique, awesome opportunity that you had. You took it. I'm really glad you did, and that you're leaving us with the confidence and for everything happening, monumental moments for you in this world and this year. The supportive love of a family that just sees you for who you are and wants to flourish that. That's exactly what we want as well. So thank you. Come back and visit. Let us know of your escapades. And then also, like, seriously, like, if you go like somewhere super crazy, we want to know. We want some updates and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, even if it's Mexico, if it's just next door, or Canada or something like that, you know. But
The other side of Canada is fun.
yeah,
Oh.
you can go wander around Quebec for sure. But yeah, thank you very much, Jacob. Good job.
Thank you.
And then go for it. One of the traits that I admire about you is you're definitely a risk taker. I mean, you're just showing that right now. You're saying that you're willing to learn a language, go spend some time in a new country, and you're willing to take risks and learn from your experiences. So please don't lose that. I feel like, and I'm sure some of the other teachers can attest, as you get older, you might get that fear a little bit of like failing. Don't let that stop you. And if something does happen, because I know sometimes throughout your high school years you've encountered challenges, just keep pushing through. You did very well in your senior presentation and your paper, and I know at times you thought you weren't going to be able to do it. You did it, you finished it. So I just want you to know that I know things might come up, especially as you're out there experiencing new things in a new country. Just keep pushing forward. Reach out to your strong support system, and I can't wait to see what you do on your mission trip and what you do at BYU. Yay!
Thank you. Feels my heart. Can't give you guys a hug.
At graduation, Jacob, okay? At
Graduation?
Yes.
I'll keep you to it.
With your mask on.
Yeah, of course.
Good work, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, find me a group of seniors, because that's the question I'm going to ask you at graduation.
I'm on it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jacob.
Of course, thank you.
All right, Sean, are you in the audience?